We're in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and we're staying in a village of Duck in this beach house. This will be our home for the next 7 days. There's so many things to do. One of our favorite things is to go off-roading on the beach. It's all the way on the northern end of this barrier island in an area where the road ends and it just becomes the beach. You can drive there for, I don't know, about 5 or 6 miles. It's really fun and a lot of people do it. The sand is soft and you have to have a 4-wheel drive vehicle. Fortunately, we do. This is our new Jeep Gladiator. We've been having a lot of fun in this thing, but one of the things we couldn't wait to do when we got here is to take off the top and the doors and get it ready for that off-road area. And that's what we're going to do today. First thing we do is take the roof off. It's in 3 pieces. 1 big piece from here all the way back, and 2 small pieces over the front driver and passenger seat. Jennifer has already removed the driver's side. Now I'm going to remove the passenger side. First, I'm going to pull down the visor and undo the latch. Then there's another latch there, one on this side, and a 4th. And it just lifts off. They're made of fiberglass, so they're light. The Jeep came with this bag to put these tops in. The first piece goes in and slides into some brackets at the bottom. Then this soft cloth goes over to separate it from the next one. Fits in pretty easy. Just pull the top over and zip it up. We're just going to store these in the bed. Our Jeep came with a set of tools just for taking off the tops and the doors. So this one, we're going to use this. I think it's called a Torx one. It's got 6. It's like a 6-star piece. It fits in there. So we're going to use this. There's 2 bolts holding the front on, and then a number of them holding it in the back. We're going to do the front ones first. We're going to loosen it counterclockwise. That's one. Now we'll start on the back. There's bolts across the bottom edge where the top connects to the body. We'll start off with this outside one. Again, we turn counterclockwise, or left. Lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Okay. Then we're going to pull the seat forward by pulling the strap. My finger pulls the seat forward. And that exposes some more of them. So let's get to working on these. That's the 3 from this side. Now we're going to do the 3 on the other side. All right, so the seat's down. We're going to get the other 3. That's 1, 2, and hey, wait a minute, where's the 3rd? Well, it's behind this cover. So we're going to pull this plastic cover off. And there's the bolt that's holding down the top. Now, the other thing it's also hiding, which is why the cover was on in the first place, is an electrical connection. Because if you see, the rear window has a defrost. That's electricity running to that. This is where it connects to the car. So in addition to unbolting the roof from the truck, we also have to disconnect the electric. Here's the electrical connection. It has a red locking tab to keep it from coming undone just from road vibrations. So we're going to slide that back. We're sliding that back. And then we're going to press down the tab in the middle that unlocks it, and just pull it out. Just unplugs. Set that aside. Now we can take off the bolt. Ratchet's nice to get it started, but it's really not in there all that tight. So we can do it with our fingers once we get those first few turns. All right. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to replace this cover. This is one of those things that might get lost. So I'm going to put it back on so that it'll stay with the top when we take the top off. And then when we come to put the top back on, we'll pull it off again to reconnect the electric line and put the bolt back in. I think that's just the best way of keeping this thing together so we don't accidentally lose it. So let's get the last 2 bolts off. The top's been disconnected from the body, and now we're going to lift it up and take it back. This is absolutely a 2-man job. Jeep actually recommends it's even better if you had 3. But we're going to do it with 2, and I think we should be fine.
Yeah.
Good job. Good work. All right, this is looking pretty cool. Although, once you close the doors, it's not exactly as cool. So we're going to get rid of the doors. Of course, Jeep anticipates that we're going to want to take the doors off, so they give us tools to do that in our toolkit. So we're going to put back our socket that we used to take the roof off. We're going to put on the socket for taking the doors off. These are electric windows, which means electricity is running to these doors just like it was to the top. So we're going to have to find where the wiring harness is for that. That's hidden behind this plastic molding. So we're just going to snap that off. This is just like a leash. It just holds it. It doesn't really have any function. And then there's 2 things. Strap, that's sort of an emergency door stop. We're going to slide that off of this hook. And then we see here is the harness. So going to push in the button that unsnaps it. And pull it down. That unhooks the electricity. Now all we have to do is undo the mechanicals. And that is 1 bolt here that holds the arm that keeps the door from going too far out. We're going to do that by turning it counterclockwise. I'm just going to tuck this in net. We're not going to take the hinges off, we're just going to take the pin out that holds the hinge on. That's down here. And this uses the same size Torx bit as we used to take the tops off. We're also turning this counterclockwise. I'm putting my finger behind it just to keep this from scratching up against the door. Now that both bolts are off, I'm just going to open the door, lift it up off the hinge. We don't want this flying around, so we're going to put this back on. We'll take it off when it's time to reconnect the doors later. Now we'll do the other 3 doors in exactly the same way. All right, our Gladiator's looking pretty good. There's just one thing that might be a little bit of a problem. There's no rear view mirror, because the mirrors were attached to the doors, if you remember. So we've thought of that too. We have these aftermarket off-road mirrors that we're going to put in. They're going to go in right where the hinge was. On the bottom, we put a washer, and then a lock washer, and then a nut. We're going to tighten that up with our Jeep tool. I think that looks pretty good. So now we're done, and we'll put our tools away. But what are we going to do with all these bolts? All these bolts that came out of the doors and the roof parts, we're going to lose one of these. Well, Jeep thought of that too. They put in a special holder to put them in. You open it up, and there's a place for them. First, there's 8 of these. These were the bolts that held the hinge on. This also helps make sure you haven't lost one, because you have to have the exact right amount. You have 8 long ones that held the roof on. These 4 were from the door that held that piece on. Let's do this right. So these are the 8 that held the roof on. And these are the 4 that held the door limiter on, and the 8 that held the doors on the hinges. And these are the 4 that we would use if we unscrewed and folded forward the windshield. Because with the Jeep, you can actually drive with no windshield if you like. It's all open. In fact, might be a little too open. Get a lot of sun in here. Definitely want all the air and that ocean breeze, but really don't want a whole lot of direct sun any more than necessary. So we got a sunscreen. I'm going to put that on now. So that's it. Top's on. It's got a nice shade on the seats. So we're going to head out for a ride and see those dunes. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Big Crab Cake Channel.